Good morning. Welcome to Natasha Makes. It's Tuesday morning. It's 10 o'clock. We are live. Yes, we are. I hope you've had a wonderful, rest of the day yesterday. Did you get out in the sunshine? It's a bit gorgeous, isn't it? I don't know if you can hear. My Eric, the Great Dane, is outside, lying in the sun next to his paddling pool, barking. Because the girls have left him for the day. They've gone off to doggy daycare. So he's not very happy about that this morning, but he's still sunning himself. So good morning to all of you. I hope you're having a fabulous morning so far. Gosh, we have got beautiful William Morris for you on the show today. As you can probably see, it is something that I love very, very much. Various things that I've made with it. Yeah, a couple of lap quilts. That's a bit bigger then. Well, actually, this might end up being a picnic blanket. Not sure yet. Might change that into, or maybe this one. I don't know. But certainly, the picnic blankets that we did last week would work an absolute treat because I've got layer cakes. So if you want to have a look at how far a layer cake goes, do check out last week's show. That was Monday. It was Moda Monday, wasn't it? Last Monday, where we did a picnic blanket, we did a bag. In fact, this is the William Morris version of that bag. More about that in a moment. But yeah, this was made out of the layer cake. The bag was made out of the layer cake. All sorts of things. Some of my plastic bag holders out of the layer cake. So a layer cake goes an awfully long way, and we do have that on the show for you today at under £40, which, if you know anything about layer cakes, is phenomenal value because you're looking at 42 10-inch squares. Well, here it is, 42 10-inch squares. This one's been very well loved. And you get either 3 or 4 of each design in there, which is really rather fabulous. It's just beautiful. We will go into lots of detail with that. I've got complimentary bundles for you. I've got some Strawberry Thief for you. So in order to shop the show, you go to www.natashamakes.com. There's the details down there. And if you click on watch live, then underneath there, you can find everything that is on today's show. And then if you maybe want to get like the picnic blanket, the flap instructions as to how to do the flap bit for your picnic blanket, or if you want the bag instructions, they were on last Monday's show. So if you go to catch up, then you can shop the show from last week as well, and those instructions and everything will be there. It's a new feature we've got on our website, which is pretty cool, I think, because I didn't even know you could do that kind of thing, but Josh did. So he sorted that out, and then SJ and Emma made it all happen, and that's teamwork for you. So who have we got with us this morning? Let's take a little look, shall we? Oh gosh, look at you all. Good morning, good morning. Who have we got? We've got Cassandra and Gemma and Fiona and Elizabeth. Elizabeth, you absolutely blew me away yesterday. Thank you so much. Just incredibly touched, and there was a little something in my eye. Just beautiful. Thank you. And then Julia and Claire and Emma, good morning. And Anne-Marie is watching, and Val and Anne as well, good morning. And Lisa and Lindsay, hello from a sunny Braintree. And Ali is watching. I haven't had any more dreams about you, Ali. I had a really weird dream about Ali the other night. Very, very bizarre. Very, very bizarre. That sounds really creepy, doesn't it? It was nice. It was a nice dream. It's fine. Michelle was there. Colette was there. Yeah. Michelle and Joanna. Laurie, good morning. Good morning. Oh, Josh is watching as well. Good morning, Gemma. We've got Agnes and Shirley. Oh, where are you, Shirley? She's wet over there. And Susan. Oh, thank you for the parcels. She's a happy bunny. Pleasure. Michelle says that she's a wealth of misdiffused knowledge and can't wait to practice. It's all about using your stash, actually using it. And a rainy Renfrewshire. I can't even say it. Renfrewshire, is that how you say it? Oh, I don't know. It's like when people say, I can't even think of any examples now. A lot of the shires are a bit tricky to say if you don't know. It's when you hear Americans try to pronounce some of them. Worcestershire? Yeah, no. And why would they know? Because English is such a weird language, right? Sarah, good morning. Hope all is well with you and your pets. I would say yes. Eric would possibly not agree with that this morning. He's got opinions. He's always got opinions. Oh, Ali's making Paul a birthday cake. Is it his birthday today, or are you getting ahead? Happy birthday, Paul. Jackie, good morning. Beautiful day here in Cheltenham. Gloucestershire, you see? Yeah. Sunny Norfolk, that's no problem to say. Oh, Jane said that she got her scrap bag at the weekend. It had batiks and William Morris in it. Do you know our scrap bags are pretty awesome, even if I do say so myself. Who else have we got? Well, just loads of you. Good morning. It's so lovely to have you. Elaine says, I'm here, but watching on the big TV, so she can't read the comments. There we go. Okay, so good morning. Righty-ho. Now then, this morning, okay, so what are we going to start with? So we've got the Minerals collection, which is the latest William Morris collection. And we've got it in various formats for you today. Look, there it is. All very gorgeous. And there we are. It has been an absolute joy to work with. I've done a couple of Ho Chanda shows with it. I've worked with it an awful lot. And I absolutely love it. And I promised that I would bring it on to Natasha Makes for you. So here it is. And also some other William Morris's to boot, including the face masks. Now, right. We have built Natasha Makes on honesty. And when things go wrong, as much as when things go right, I will be completely honest about it and say, so when our suppliers, that's the word I want. When our suppliers said to us on Friday, do you want these face masks, William Morris design? You can have them exclusively for the next 2 to 3 weeks until they go into John Lewis. We jumped at it. Yes, absolutely. Yes, we would love to. I checked with you guys first and you absolutely wanted it. Fine. Now they said in all of their correspondence, it was 6 masks on the panel. And all the photos and everything that they sent us were 6 masks. The boxes arrived after the show yesterday. I opened them up this morning to make one of the masks. And it's a pack of 5, not 6 on the panel. So this morning has been, I don't know how I look so calm, actually. This morning has been a, how do we put this right morning? Because obviously a whole load of you have pre-bought your masks. So what I propose is one of 2 things. You can either be refunded the difference and we will send you the pack of 5, or we will add a fat quarter of William Morris fabric into your order so that you can still make 6 masks, or make 5 and have a fat quarter of William Morris fabric. That's up to you. So that's what I'm proposing by way of compensation. The price has been adjusted now for the 5 panels that have actually been sent to us. So it's fun, isn't it? But, you know, mistakes happen. Everybody's human. It's just how we go about putting it right to make sure that everybody is happy. So if that is okay with you, that is what we will do. Going forward, the price has been altered. So if you don't do anything, then you will get sent a fat quarter extra because that's effectively, you know, what you've paid for. Actually a bit more than what you've paid for, but we'll gloss over that. If you are buying today, then it is the 5 and the price has been adjusted accordingly. And if you don't like any of that, just contact us info@natashamakes.com and we'll simply refund you. It's up to you. But that's what I'm suggesting to compensate for the error that was made. You know, everybody works to the best advantage. Yes, Pam, a nightmare is exactly what it's been this morning. Because, of course, I get up to prep the shows at 4 o'clock. You can't get hold of anybody at 4 o'clock in the morning. Oh, no, you can't. You can't. So it's one of those things of, what do I do? How many have we already sold? Am I getting, because they sent me the samples of them. The rest of them arrived today. So are there going to be 6s or 5s in there? Anyway, you don't need to know about all of that. suffice to say, I have found out that it's the 5 packs that we have already been sent that will be arriving today. The samples that have been sent are the 5, so I can show you exactly what you're getting, and we will make good because that's what we do. So I hope that's okay for everybody, and I'm ever so sorry that that's happened. But as ever, I will be completely honest with you. There we go. Heather says a very fair solution, Natasha. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so good. If we're happy, then that's all good. Let's crack on with the show. So without further ado, let's actually have a look at the said face masks, shall we? Because let's face it, if we've got to wear okay, am I meant to call them face coverings? Because obviously they're made in Europe. They're being printed and everything in Europe, and they, you know, they put face masks on their packaging, but I think we're meant to call them face coverings. You know what I mean. You can put filters in or not. It's up to you. I don't know. Laurie says, thanks. Always a headache around the corner, but stay calm. Simple solutions. You are always kind to us. It just has to be right. That's it, isn't it? Just has to be right. Okie dokie. So, here we go. These are some of the things that I've made. So this was actually made out of the scraps from the fat quarters I used to make that quilt. Just scraps. When scraps look that good, fab. So let's pop that down there, shall we? And then that was made, with just half square triangles. Well, that's easy enough. And then what else have we got? Well, the pouches. You can get the pouch instructions on my website. That's now got all of my my wonder clips in it. Sue says it's raining today, so happy dance as I can watch live. Oh yeah, some of you have been dragged out for walks by your other halves at 10 o'clock in the morning, like, no, it's Natasha Makes Time, no. Here we go. So this was the, last week we did the Ahoy from Moda range. We made the bag out of this. On her channel last week, I made this version of it. It is the same bag. It is the drop-in lining bag, just with the William Morris. And again, made from the layer cakes, but you can also make it from your fat quarters because they're just 5-inch squares. So let's pop that. Oh, I'm running out of space now. Way that down there. We'll have a look at the masks, see which ones you fancy. Right, hang on. Here we go. I did look at the desk this morning and go, I can't actually see anything. So that's what you get in terms of, that's the front cover. They make up to look like that. Da-da-da, with a little strawberry thief on my cheeks. Lovely. They are actually surprisingly comfortable. And you can, if you watch back, oh gosh, I'll have to find the link. I'll show you when we make them. I'll show you when we make them as to how you can, because you can put wire over there and just get a paper clip. I'll show you how. Right. Spot the deliberate mistake, put the elastic on the wrong side. So I'm going to show you how to not do that. I was making this as I discovered that everything had gone a bit wrong this morning. So I'm surprised that A, it got made at all, but I'm not surprised that it's inside out and back to front. But when it's made up, look at the gorgeous colours. I mean, if you've got to wear a mask, let's do it in style, right? But yeah, so we're like that. Going to show you how to make those versions. So there are 2 versions. I might even get it right. I mean, who knows? So when you get your panel, bear in mind I've chopped one off here. It looks like that. That's for the square one. So you will get, oh wait, upside down. So yeah, so you get, that will make one, and then that's your lining there. So your William Morris and then the lining. So you get that in there, and then obviously I've chopped off one off the end. So you'll get a full panel. That much I can, I can guarantee you. You know when you just wish you'd stayed in bed? Just one of those days. So that is I want to say that's the red option. Oh, it's the brown option. That's the William Morris Brown, very traditional. That's the William Morris Brown version, if you want to go for that. They are all on the website, so you can decide. Now, the William Morris Brown version, let's open up this one. So yeah, the William Morris Brown version, whoops. Oh, this is rather lovely. For the curved face masks, is that one there. Can we just do a little, look at these. Look at these little chaps. Hiya. Yeah. So that's your option. There you go. That is the brown curved option. 5 of those. 5 of those. 5 of those. And then, you get the elastic, by the way, as well. So you're not having to run, you get the elastic in each of the kits. Which one was this one? Have I just done the brown? Have I opened up 2 browns? Okay. Let's have a look at the red. So this is the William Morris Red. Yeah, I've chopped off. This is the one that I made. That's that one. So imagine this one. So that's that panel plus that one. Ready made. And actually it's pretty cool because if you want to put in filters, then you've got the gap. I'll show you. And if you are one of the people that bought a pack of 6, then with your fat quarter, what I would suggest, just trace off that pattern and then just cut that out, if you want to, or just make 5. Right, that one I'm going to demo with. Right, let's have a look. I've shown you the William Morris Brown. I'll get myself in a right old mishmash. This is the William Morris Red squared one. There you go. Rather lovely, aren't they? And of course, it's one of those things that it just brings a little bit of class, darling, to a class to the mask, or to the face coverings. Right. Right. Let's do that. And the blue, we call it, the William Morris blues. These have been incredibly popular. These probably won't last the day, if I'm honest, because they've been so popular. But this is the blue, which is strange because I thought the more traditional colours would be most popular. But you've gone for it. You've gone for the old blue. Sort of bluey greeny, isn't it? There you go. That's what those look like. That's if you want the curved version. So you've got the curved or the straight version for each one. There we go. And then the last one, and then I can move them all off, is the Morris Blue straight ones. Like I say, you can't get these anywhere else yet. We've got the exclusivity on these for the next couple of weeks. So if you want them, go for it. Go for it. And I'll have to see if there are more of you that want the blue. I'll have to see if I can get any more. Although, yeah, the thought of ordering anything else right now. Right, so you get with them, you get instructions. You get written instructions with each. Let me move these out of the way. Yeah, so you get written instructions for each. And let's start off with the curved, okay? Like I say, I am going to demo from this one. I cut these out with pinking shears just because what is the one thing that you are going to do with these is wash them, right? So if I'm washing anything, either overlock your edges or pinking shear them, because like it or not, any cotton is going to fray, isn't it? If it's, you know, washed multiple times, which these will be. So just chop these out, or just zigzag the edges. There's always a way. If you don't have pinking shears, just zigzag those edges. So you want basically, I'm just going to chop along this edge here because I want all of them. I'm just going to cut that straight line out along there. Try not to cut everything else, and then I can move this out of the way. Michelle says, my sewing group have just made 100 masks for my doctor's surgery. They're giving them to patients who have regular doctors and hospital appointments, but can't afford to buy their own masks. Do you know what, Michelle? There are so many good people out there. So many good people. It blows me away. Absolutely blows me away. I think it's fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. I mean, obviously there are going to be those companies that put up their prices for everything, but there are also, let's focus on the good people that there are out there, because there are lots, and that just has to be the focus, doesn't it, on all the goodness that there is out there. And I think, you know, in the majority, we rally, don't we? As a nation, we rally. It's very easy, isn't it, when you go on sort of social media to focus on all the dreadful stuff, but I just keep scrolling and just find the good stuff, because there's lots more out there. And then the more you look for it, the more good stuff you find, has been my experience. I remember reading somewhere that all the time we all watch the news, they're just going to bring us bad news, not all the good stuff. And they're kind of right. If we went, oh, we're not going to watch the news because it's a bit depressing, so we're just gonna wait for the good stuff, then they'd have to bring us good news, right? And how much nicer would that be? It would be great. I might suggest it. I might start a campaign. Good news only, please. We just want the good stuff. Bring us the good stuff. I can feel a campaign. A soapbox moment this morning. So these cut out pretty easily. You'll get all of these done in a morning. No problems. No problems at all. And then, like I say, if you want to make more out of your... This is the thing though, isn't it? It's that toss-up of, do you delve into your stash, your beautiful stash? I would argue that have a mask for when you go into shops, and then maybe like make the infinity scarf to just hook up over your nose for just out and about when you're not in like close contact for people. So you're still looking stylish. Yeah, keep that style, everybody. Let's do it. I've got to remember how to make these now. Right. So let's put these right sides together. If you want to make sure when you've cut them out that you are pinning in exactly the right spot, you've got little stars on here for where you're going to put your elastic. So I just put my pin through a star, through another little star, wiggle it about, and that will mean that you are absolutely in the right place and pin. And then once this back line lines up, there we go, then everything else just falls into place beautifully. There's even a star up the top that can do that too. There we go. Alrighty, so do I have another one I can line up on? Boop-a-da-boo. So you can line up on the stars, or just line up. There's like a drawn seam line on these. I don't know if you can. Hang on, let me show you. Here, can you see even through the fabric? I can see that seam line, and that's what I'm going to stitch. Yeah, you can see it there. That's absolutely what I'm going to stick on. You can only find the square masks on the website. Have the curved ones sold out? No, they should be there, Heather. They absolutely should be there. Right, let's have a look. let's sew this, shall we? I'm sure one of the team will be able to help you there. Right, so on this, I start off the edge and sew onto it. You can do a little backward thingy if you want, but we're just going to go ba-ba-da-ba-da. You don't have to go ba-ba-da-ba-da. You just have to look. And again, it's one of those things that we're going around a curve. So if you have the option, if you have something swanky like the DX7, or today I'm on the Kiri. Ooh, I'm on the big beast. It's, oh, do you know what? I have been, ever since I got my DX7, I have absolutely loved it. And because I go to Hochanda and I do my shows over there, and it's been my workhorse, I just lug it here, there and everywhere. This one's a bit big to lug. But oh my goodness, this is a thing of beauty. Right, so then, let's plug in the iron. And then we're going to do exactly the same with the other masks. So this is your lining, so right sides together. I'm going to save myself some time and just pop that pin through. The seam lines, it's easier, isn't it? Now there are also YouTube tutorials on this as well. Not done by me, done by the company themselves, by Fabbies themselves. So you can always check those out as well. And then to the machine, and on we go. Whee! And just reverse stitch. It's all about this morning having something that is going to be good and stay strong and put up with lots of washing, right? Little back stitch there. Okay, so hopefully, fad quarters, yes, we'll come to you in a minute. Find myself stroking them and being a little bit like, was it Gollum in Lord of the Rings? My pretty, with my fabrics. Am I alone in that? Am I the only like Gollum-esque person when it comes down to fabric? Maybe that's not like a feature I want to push. If you have got, and I have somewhere, but do I know where I've put it? Like a pressing ham with the curved ones, that's always great. But otherwise, just finger press first, that seam open, and then just get in there with your iron afterwards. Again, the little prim irons are great for this because, you know, they're small but mighty. And in they go. Like I say, I pick up stock of these on Wednesday, so I'll pop up a post, about that when I have them. Yeah, notice I'm now really scared about, yes, they're ordered, but not actually going to pop them up on anything until they're actually in my hot little hand. Okay. Let's just finger press that. Honestly, these are very quick and easy to make. Once you've made one, you will be well away. So let's just quickly, whoops. So they're quite hot as well, these irons. Turns out, who knew? Who knew? Right. There we go. So that's pressed open. And then on both of them, you zigzag along that bottom seam because if you want to leave these so that they are open, then you just zigzag zigzag along there. So again, it's just stopping fray. If you've got an overlocker, overlock. If you are going to sew these up because you're not going to put a filter or anything in, then don't do this bit. Just don't do it. But this is just to stop any fray, because you're not going to sew up this seam necessarily, and that's the only reason that we're doing that. Okay. Colette says, gorgeous masks tend to find my glasses steam up whilst wearing them. So what I would suggest then is putting the putting a little bit of wire in. Just get a paper clip, and then you can mould it to your nose so that it's a tighter fit. That's what I would suggest, Colette. Just an idea. You might have already done that. I don't know. I'm just trying to. I'm one of these people. I like to find solutions. There we go. Very quiet and smooth, isn't it? The old Kiri. Okay, so you zigzag along there. Now, to put in the actual elastic, again, this comes in your kit. I went for a measurement of anywhere between 6 and 7 inches. I think let's go 6.5. 6.5 inches I found really comfortable, but again, make sure that your elastic is exactly the same length, unless you've got like a really wonky head, in which case maybe you want one a bit longer than the other. But I'm not going to comment on the wonk of your head, yeah, because it would be rude. It would just be rude. So, right, let's get this right today, shall we? So that is going to have to go here. Now, you have got this on your mask. You've got a little star. Can you see? A little star right there. Can you see it on there? You'll see it when you see it. If that makes sense. So anyway, there's a star, and that's where you want to pop your elastic. Just pin it in place. And I would zigzag back and forth over this a little bit, and just pin it in place on both sides. But yeah, 6.5 inches I found comfortable, but it's just down to personal preference on that one, very much so. And make sure that there are no twists in your elastic when you pop it down. That's the other thing. So just make sure it's nice and smooth as it goes. And then in each corner, yeah, so you can see there's no twist in my elastic. It's down and all the way around. It's just nice and smooth. So in again, I tend to put my foot down, then take my pin out, and then zigzag. And I go backwards and forwards. Again, it's that moment of wear and tear, isn't it? Where is the most pressure going to be on there? So let's just go backwards and forwards. Oh. And spin it around. I haven't set this machine up as I've got my DX set up, so I've got so used to how I've set up the other one, but I just wanted to try a few new things with the NX. So you have to bear with me if I'm like foot up, foot down, It's like getting in somebody else's car when you're so used to driving your own. But I have to say, I am absolutely loving it. It was the dream. There we go. Okay. So now you want to go right sides together. Actually, do you know what else I would do? I would pin that elastic out of the way, because that's the other way you can come unstuck, is by having the elastic just, you know, hanging out near your seams. So I would just pin it out the way, and then that solves that little problem. I was going to say, ask me how I know, but actually that was the one thing I didn't do this morning. Many things, not that, not that. Oh, Michelle would love a dress in the red fabric. It's a bit gorgeous, isn't it? Absolutely gorgeous. Oh, Claire, yeah, you've made millions of masks, haven't you? You have a 6.5-inch square ruler, wrap and wrap and wrap and wrap and wrap, miles of elastic and cut. Great idea. Great idea. So, right sides together. Now, this is the thing. If you... Oh, and then just pin from the seams so that the seams are... I'm teaching grandmother to suck eggs then, aren't I, Claire, with you? Because you know, you could do these in your sleep. In fact, you have probably dreamt about them in your sleep. So I pin top and bottom seams together. Then you're going to stitch. Let me just pop another stitch in there. Did you see that the packs of 100 pins are back in stock, by the way, for those of you that were waiting? They are back in stock now. They're another thing that come from America and have taken forever to get back. Still can't get hold of the 50s. The 50s haven't arrived. Don't know where they are. But they're not here yet. But do you know what? In for a penny, in for a pound. These pins are amazing. Right, so we are going to pin. We've pinned already. We're going to sew up the sides, along, over the top, and then down. We're going to sew part way on the base. So I'll start part way, but we want to leave a space. If you're going to put filters in, we're going to leave a space for that in case you want to do filters. It's going to be our turning through space anyway. So we shall do that. To the machine, to the machine. Here we go. Oh, thank you, Emma. She's brilliant. She's on it this morning. She's like, I've added the pins to today's show. What would I do without you guys? You're on it. Brilliant. Okay. So, part way along. Remember to change your stitch. I would possibly... And then just sew on those lines that you can see. I would probably batch make these. Maybe make one so you see how easy they are to make. And then possibly batch make would be what I would do with these. So that then you don't forget to keep switching from a straight stitch to a zigzag. Now on that one you can ask me how I know. Suddenly realised partway through I'm like, oh, no, wasn't meant to zigzag that bit. Into that corner, needle down, spin it around. I've obviously put this in upside down and all my pins are the wrong way round. Go me. And down we come. Whee. Sound effects are for free. And again, part way along, lock off that stitch, take out any pins. Oh, okay, so the other pins are where I had the elastic in. Now, this is the thing. If you are going to add in your wire, then do a really wide zigzag stitch over the nose. About 1.5 inches either side. Just over the bridge of the nose, a really wide zigzag stitch that you can then push your paper clip through, and then you can really mould it to the shape of your nose. Love your top. Could you show us how to make one? Oh, I didn't make it. Don't have time to make that at the minute. Oh gosh. But it really wouldn't be hard. It's basically a rectangle of fabric stitched up the side with wafty bits there. Maybe I need to make the pattern for it. Now then, let's turn this through. Again, being careful of your fingers if you have pinned your elastic out of the way, Whee! There they are. And again out of the way. So I'm just going to congratulate myself for managing to put the elastic on the correct side on this one. Yep. Now, at this point, there are several things that you can do. You can just press it as it is, and off you go. You can top stitch around to hold everything in place, but I haven't found it shifted, to be fair, but just give it a little press. And where you've got those zigzaggedy seams, just press them under, because that's where you can then add in that gap through there. You can add in, if you're putting in an extra filter and a disposable filter. Some people even use like paper towels, just fold up paper towels and put them in there. It's entirely up to you. If you want to top stitch around so that everything holds in place, then you can, but otherwise, there you go. One face covering with William Morris fabrics. Da 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 da. Done. How long did that take? Like 15 minutes or something? Hour and a half? Bosh, I'll have them all done. So there we go. That's how you do those. And then if we just have a look at the square ones, they're they're a little bit different, but really not much. Bear with me, caller, while I just find the sheet. What have I done with it? What have I, was it this one? What colour did I use? Maybe this one. Can't remember which one I hacked into now. Does that look like a full one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, that's a full one. I don't want to cut into any more. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Oh, what have I done with that then? That's going to drive me a bit nuts, isn't it? Did I leave it there? Did I put it in there? No. What have I done with it? Anyway, basically you just pleat down the side, following the lines. That's not it. Bear with me, caller. Bear with. Is it that one? It's not that one. Is it that one? No. Oh gosh, I don't know what I've done with it. Let's look at something else. We'll come back and do the other one in a minute, shall we? Right. But yeah, like I say, online you've got the instructions and you've got a video. If you just put in a search on YouTube for Fabby's face masks, then it comes up. Like I said, they are European companies, so they call it face masks. I know, got to call them face coverings. Before I get told off. Let's put those away there. And then maybe when I've cleared the decks a bit, I might find what I've done with that panel. But it's not the most gripping viewing, is it? Playing, if you were me, what would you have done with ... Alrighty, so let's start with, I love how disorganized you are. I'm just the same. Honestly, Michaela, if I could be any other way, honestly, Inga comes in and she just sort of slow blinks. And yesterday when I came off air, she had, because we're still moving into the warehouse, that's still happening. We're still building, because we've got to build all of the bays and everything. Like we don't have anyone to do it for us. We're doing it all ourselves. So at the moment we're sort of in different bits of my house, and she tidied everything up beautifully. Well, of course, then all the William Morris fabric arrived and various other deliveries. She's just come in this morning and she can barely get in the door because it's all in the hallway as well. Like, I mean, the mayhem is ridiculous. And she's just sort of looked and I went, yeah, no, thanks for making lots of space for all the new stuff. And yeah, she didn't look very impressed. When you tied, I don't know where stuff is. When you tied it, I don't know. But I do know where this is, and this is simply stunning. So let me show you. You can use a motorcycle visor anti-fog spray to help you stop your specs. Do you know what I love about you guys? That's for you, Colette. That's Susan suggesting that. I wonder if the anti-fog stuff that I used to use when I was swimming, I wonder if I could use, if that would help. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? Now, let's have a look at these. So, these are the William Morris Strawberry Thief. I wanted to bring in some classic William Morris here. Absolute classic William Morris here. And I have been asked by numerous, including you, Helen, for complimentary bundles of colour. So, I tasked Inga with this morning. She's very good with colour. And this was what she came up with, which is beautiful. Let me bring it over to the machine. Disorganisation shows the height of creativity. Do you know what, Sue? I am so creative right now. So creative. In a really organised, disorganised way. First time we've had the blue William Morris. Ooh, right? Yes. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now, I'm going to show you with the complementaries one by one. Because look at that. Again, I have gone salt dye backy. Oh, April's here. Hi, April. April. It's Australian April. She's joined us again. She's been watching on YouTube a bit, so we haven't had her commenting. Lovely to have your company. Yeah, so that's with the salt dye batiks because, quite frankly, they're beautiful, really beautiful. And they just, I mean, look, they just pick up all those different blues in there. Gorgeous. So that was one colourway. And then look at the sort of the caramelly colour picks up the birds, and when you put them one by one next to each other, they all pick up different things. So it might be that you're doing a quilt and you just want to use these as plains, and they are superb quality, these salt dyed batiks, and it looks like his speckledy tummy. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And then a colour that I wouldn't have thought of, but I'm so glad Inga did. Look at the green with it. Had you realised how much green there was in there? I hadn't. But it's amazing, isn't it, how when you just add in a little colour like that, kapow, up it comes. So individually they work beautifully with this, absolutely beautifully. And then when you pop them all together, you have all of those colours to play with, and they work an absolute treat. So that's 2 full meters of fabric there. Janet, don't worry, darling, you're still on time, really. Doesn't matter, you can always catch up later. She's sorry I'm late. It's like being at school, isn't it? Sorry I'm late, sorry, the dog ate my homework. Here we go. This is the red. And actually, one of you asked me if these colours would go with the Chafakani. And I think it would, because the colourways are very similar. Very similar. So look, you've got this kind of steely bluey grey, or slatey colour. Inga's called it slate. Look, this is how organised she is. Slate, and then the code and everything. I mean, yeah. I need multiple Ingas in my life. Yeah, so yeah, that picks out there. Which, again, I just hadn't really noticed. But when it's next to it, oh, it's gorgeous. And then the crimson, well, yeah. And I love the richness of that. Just exquisite. And then again, actually, we've gone with the old cappuccino to bring out the colour of the said Strawberry Thief. And his speckledy tummy. Perfect, absolutely perfect combination. I'm just looking around to see if I've got any of that Chafakani to hand to show you it next to it. Ooh. Hang on. I'm getting a message from Emma. What are you saying, Emma? The flat mask that you've cut into is in the middle of the pile you bundled together and put on the floor behind you. Yeah, probably is. Probably is. I also need multiple Emmas. Do you know what? As much as this morning has been a little bit of a headache, thank goodness for migraine relief, what it also makes me realise is what an incredible team I have who have just pulled together, cracked on, because I was so behind with getting everything else loaded for the show. They're cracking, even down to Stephen just taking the kids to school and, you know, just leaving me to crack on with it. Everybody is just pulled together. Inga's just gone, I just got some fabric. I'll just match some colours. I couldn't ask for better, could I? Absolutely couldn't ask for better. They are 1 in a million. Oh, Nanny Muse watching. Hello, how are you feeling? Are you all right? I hear Mum and Dad came to see you at the weekend. Hope you sat apart. Righty-ho, let's have a look then at... let's have a look at these. Let's have a look at... Okay, so you have a choice, right? I'm all about choice. You can get the whole range, the whole minerals range. And it is about going back to those gorgeous neutrals. I think I could see like white board, you know, the whitewash, beautiful sort of seaside cottages. That's what it evokes for me. It's just beautiful, isn't it? So these are the colours and these are the fabrics, and you can get them so that you get all of it, and which is 14 fat quarters. And I popped a discount on there. I forgot to tell anybody that. Might have popped a discount on those, so that, yeah, the 14 were coming in at a cracking price. So do take a look at the website for that, because I've done well. I've done well there. I've done very well there. But for those of you that are wondering what they look like, let's take a little look at the first batch here. We will take a closer look, but that's kind of the first batch. Look, you've got gorgeous acorns. It's just a beautiful array of taupes and neutrals and greys, and it's so peaceful. Really peaceful. Was obviously bringing us this iconic William Morris design. These are all from the William Morris Company, manufactured by Free Spirit, but they have the OK from the William Morris Company. Look at those gorgeous acorns. We'll come back to those in a bit. This is your honeysuckle and poppies. Again, we'll take a look at that. Oh no, tulips. Honeysuckles and tulips. I just think they're beautiful. It's arts and crafts at its most delicious, isn't it? Look at those. Beautiful, beautiful. Good old William Morris. I was giggling to myself, by the way, when I so that's the 14. When I made the little holder for the plastic bags, because I thought actually William Morris was all about making your home beautiful, making the functional, practical, should have functional form, and it should be beautiful. And I thought, well, what better way? I can now have my bags out. Oh, that sounds wrong. My plastic bags out in another bag. Claire, I keep thinking that le sac de sac, is that right? The sack of sacks, the bag of bags, as they say in France. You know, I like to be multilingual on my shirt. That's it. I've peaked. That was it. If you put your glasses onto your mask, it helps with the fogging up, says Matt. You guys are a wealth of knowledge. We'll have your fogging issues sorted by the end of the show, don't you worry. Now, I am very aware of budgets. I'm very aware that some people are on budgets. Some people just want to shop the lot. That's absolutely fine. And some of you, you know, budgets are a thing, so that's absolutely fine. What I've got is I've split them into threes. So you can buy, oh, they just look so beautiful, don't they? Hang on, let's just have a moment where we admire. Oh, no, we can't, because I've put all the cushions in the way. There we go, just, this thing of beauty here. Yeah, that's your 14. Right, now I'll put the cushions back. There we go. Right. Anyway, as we were. Yeah, so I've put these together as well into packs of 3 fat quarters, so that if you have a favourite one, you can grab it from there. And I've also got a cushion kit that I'm going to show you as well. But, I also wanted to put together for you a complimentary bundle, because no matter which way you invest in these fabrics, having plains that go with it, I say plains, they're the batiks again, because the texture is just divine. Don't know what I'm going to do when I run out of these. Is just beautiful, and it just worked an absolute treat and gave some texture and what have you. And I'm just going to hold that up against there, so you can see how beautifully they go. So I've got these, and these two are just a tone. Look at that. Oh, gorgeous. And this is just a smidgy tone deeper, but works an absolute treat. And then you've got like a vanilla-y colour, which works over here, up there, over there. And then you've got that lovely cappuccino, which is becoming a firm favourite everywhere. Brings out the flowers, doesn't it? Oh, lovely. So that was the collection that we've put together for you this morning. They are rather lush and lovely, and it just makes your William Morris go further. So if I show you why we have chosen what we have, I'm just going to pick 2 there to show. Look, they're the colours there, and you can see that these work so beautifully with those, and they look the same on the screen, but they are just, there you go, you can see it's just a tone out. But how beautifully does that pick up with that? This looks like a bluey green, and yet it's actually a grey. But it's just, I think we've done well. I'm going to personally congratulate ourselves on finding the most fabulous complementary colour bundle there for the old William Morris Minerals range. So that in mind, I'm just going to give it a little backdrop. Here we go. Let me show you the Fat Quarter Trios against this rather lovely background. Haha. Of course, I've got option number 1. I was very inventive with my names. This is option number 1. And you have there the beautiful acorn in those fabulous taupes. And then you will also get, I don't know, almost looks like little tiles, doesn't it? Isn't that gorgeous? But you'll also get that one. And then the beautiful honey, hang on, I've got to open this one up, because this is your honeysuckle and something else. How delicate is that? Just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So that's in there too. Right, option number 2. And again, against that fabulous, fabulous batik that we've chosen. Isn't that gorgeous? But then, how beautiful is that? Oh, yeah. And again, bringing us this lovely sagey green. And then, absolutely beautiful. That is option number 2. All the photos are on the website. I didn't really know what to call it. I mean, this is how organised. I am organised. Look, option number 2. Oops, the red strawberry thief has fallen into your basket. Annie, it happens. It happens. And Sandra says, lovely fabric, isn't it? Elizabeth says it's a shame it's not touch TV because you want to stroke them all. Yeah, they do have that strokeability. This is option number 3. I was talking about this with actually with my supplier this morning, because she was saying how beautiful our Thursday fabrics are. She's like, I can't believe you managed to bring the prices that you do on the half meter heaven. So if you don't know about half meter heaven, it's every Thursday, and we put you a designer fabric with like a batik or a plain or something like that, and we bring it in for one day only. You know, it only goes up on a Thursday for just $9.99. And the reason that we do that is so that you can A, experiment with different designers, but B, get to know the quality of fabric that we are offering here at Natasha Makes, because the quality of fabric is so important to us, because there's no, I don't want to work with cheap fabric. I don't like cheap fabric. It doesn't bring me joy. So I want to bring you consistently good quality fabric. And that's kind of my thing. So that's what I want to do for you, and that's what I'm trying to do. So so that's what the half meter heavens are there for you to try out different designers, try out different fabrics, see what you think, see what you make of it. Isn't that beautiful? That's option number 3. But you know, I don't always have huge quantity of it. That's the drawback, is that there's not always a huge quantity of stock. Now again, keeping this as the background because, oh my, yes, 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 yes. Isn't that a bit gorgeous? So this is kind of the darkest of the bundles here. And then you've got the fruit. There, that is option number 4. So if you're in the market, you just want to try out a little bit of William Morris, and you know, that's what your budget allows, then do that. Do that. That's absolutely fine. For those of you that want the whole shebang, then the fat quarters, all 14, are on an incredible price. Possibly shouldn't have done that, but you know, happens. It happens. And that, of course, is your complimentary bundle. Now, the other thing that suddenly occurred to me, and it will have occurred to me to the extent that I haven't actually told anybody else about it for them to put it up on the website, but it was on last week's, was if you want to make the bag, because a lot of you bought the bag pattern to make this using 5-inch squares. Well, of course, if you've got the layer cake, just chop it into quarters and you're done. Now, on the bag that I made last week, I used pleather, and we've got navy, well, it's called indigo, basically navy, pleather, which would work beautifully. Sometimes, especially if I'm going to put a bag down, I want it to have that sort of pleathery base, if you will, so it doesn't get dirty. But I've got a few of these left in stock, which was fat quarters of your H640 fusible fleece, and then a fat quarter, and this would do this project, of, and this is what I mean, of the dark, I think I've got one of the silver and the indigo as well, but imagine, I'm going to come over here, imagine that as your bag with that base, with the dark brown, but also, or that, but also imagine it with the taupe. These are also available online by the half meter, but check out the taupe with that. Isn't that beautiful? So yes, of course, navy looks great with it. Indigo looks great with it. All of those colours look great with it. But if you just want to try the pleather, if you've never worked with it before, you get a fat quarter of the dark brown, a fat quarter of the taupe, and a fat quarter of your H640, just so that you can put it on the back of your cottons to bring it up to a similar weight to that on your bag. There we go. It's like a taster set, that one. And if that sells out, I'll see if I've got enough to make any more. Right, let's have a look. Oh, looks like my bag I made with large hexagons. Possibly, I haven't seen it. Possibly, who knows? Right, so let's move that bag out the way. And let's have a look at 2 more items. This went in to the show because Emma wanted it. I blame you, Emma, for this one. Yeah, you get full blame for this. And I've got 2 different kits. So on the Ho Chanda show last week, I whipped up possibly the world's quickest cushion, and to the extent it was so quick I didn't even have any proper stuffing to stuff it with. So it's got some wadding in there folded it, so it looks a bit flat. And I will have to restuff that at some point. But let me just show you. Now, on the show there, we had, what do we have? We had the grunge range. I don't have that. But what I do have is this as an alternative. How beautiful is that? And so in the kit, you get a fat quarter of your William Morris. You are going to get, and this is that beautiful British lace again. There we go. And so that's what your cushion, that's your two-tone cushion with the lace on there. So you get a ½ metre of your batik. You get your lace, a metre of your lace. You get your fat quarter, and you also get a bag of stuffing so that you're not caught out like me and have to try to use something else. So that is option number one. Actually, it's not called option number one. It's called William Morris Acorn lace cushion. And it'll look a little something like that. Now, you could do a similar thing with pom-pom trim. This is option number 2. And this is the honeysuckle and tulip. Isn't it stunning? And that is going to be that will be the other half of that. And again, with your lace. And you get 250 grams of stuffing. But how pretty, whoop, how pretty can we make this one up? Should we do that? So when I did this on the shows over her channel last week, it was just showing, and look, I mean, I've done it in a lighter colour as well. Now these, the lace is available separately as well. So if you've gone for some of the other fat quarters and you actually fancy doing that, you see, so you could do that with that one instead, which is part of the complimentary bundle. That would work. Oh, excuse me, stretcher, that's not the best view, is it, you've ever had? There we go. So, you know, it doesn't have to be just that navy one. There we go, let me change that angle. There we are, hello, back again. So this I made those cushions with a 10-inch square. That was it. That was my starting point, was a 10-inch square. So, by the way, that's how your 14 fat quarter bundle comes. Bit lush, isn't it? I need to move these out of the way so I've got some space. Space. So yeah, we've seen all of the fabrics now that are going to be in that layer cake, haven't we? But actually, if you buy the complimentary bundle and you just get yourself some lace, you can make whatever colourway in these you wish. They would just, Emma asked me to make that one. So, you know, I'm a good girl, do as I'm told. Sometimes. Okay. There we go. So, basically, let's just start off. This is your ½ metre of fabric here. Easy peasy. Let's get ourselves a ruler. And then, ooh, and I would fussy cut. Yes, I would. Yes, I would. I so would fussy cut. So you get maybe like one of the beautiful flowers there. Oh, lovely. Oh, Emma says, I love that cushion. Thanks for showing it today. Well, that's all right. Emma says it makes her want to have, oh no, hang on, what? Makes me want to redo my house in blue? That is a huge statement. You hate blue, Emma. Oh, well, that's all right then. I think our work here is done. We have convinced Emma that she needs blue in her life. This is excellent news. Right, so this is your pure honeysuckle and tulip fabric. Let's just have a moment to appreciate that, shall we? Yeah, I mean, yeah. Bit good, isn't it? So the first thing is to get a 10-inch square. And the hardest thing is deciding which bit to do, to use. So let's give it a quick press so that we can just admire it a little bit more. Quick squirt with the old best press. Who's gone, by the way, for the new flavour? Who went for the vanilla and lavender? It's lovely. It's not sweet and sickly like I thought it would be. It's really very delicate and sweet. All right. Here we go. Now, if you've got pom-pom trim, of course, you could substitute in. If I know a load of you bought the pom-pom trim the other week. So if you've got pom-pom trim and you want to use that and do a pom-pom trim cushion, go for it. Go for it. Right, let's have a little look. Which bit? Do you know what? Bring out the big boy. Here we go. Now, in this, I've got a 10-inch square here, so I can just have a look. Ew. Yeah, maybe, do I want to have that? Or do I want to have... Oh, it's so difficult to know. So difficult to know. Do we want to have that as the... Or that bit? It's all gorgeous. It's all absolutely gorgeous. Oh gosh. Well, I don't know now. Maybe I'm going to do decisions as to where to cut. It's tricky. I'm doing 10 centimetres basically. 10 inches rather. 10 centimetres would be tiny, wouldn't it? It would be ridiculous. Okay, I'm going to cut it here. Because then I'm going to get, I can then get in, oh yeah, I can get in all of this. So, do you know what, I'm just going to take that there, and I'm just going to trim that down. There, and then I can put that to one side and keep that to make something gorgeous another time. Or maybe another one. I mean, who knows? And then I will fold that in half there. Line that up, whoops, with my 10-inch line there. Get that bottom lined up along a horizontal there, and then yeah, cut that at 0. Well, that will be used, don't worry. And then I need to spin this around, and again, using my stripology, I can really check now, where do I want that 10 to be, that 10-inch mark. Which bit do I want? This is the beauty. I can now really, I'm going to have this just off to one side so that it's not like slap bang in the middle. There we go. I will use this, don't worry, don't worry. That will get used somewhere else, so that can go to one side, and that's the fabric that I'm going to use now. Shelley says, hi, I do enjoy your Natasha Makes programme. You have such lovely ideas and fabrics. Thank you very much. Do I sell the big cutting mat I'm using? Yes. Ordinarily, yes. There is a waiting list for it. It's another of those products that is on a shipment coming in from the States and has been delayed. So we're expecting it in end of the month. So if you want it, you can buy it. But I've got a couple of people who are patiently waiting for it, because my supplier didn't tell, different suppliers, they didn't tell me that it was out of stock. So I kept it on the website. Now I know it's out of stock. Obviously that's a different matter, but just to warn you, yes, I can get it for you, and it is fabulous. Because it's not a self-healing one. It just comes up to meet your blade and just cuts. I love it. I really love it. I was getting through so many self-healing ones just because of the amount that we cut. And actually then in the end we went across to the electric scissors that we sell and have had on the website for ages, because that just made our cutting a lot quicker. Now, what am I doing? I hear you ask, or is that just me asking myself what I'm doing? This is now, I want to do this so that, here we go. It's going to be like that. So you've got a portion of it there, and then you've got the lace. So it's not exactly in the middle, but by the time that you've got the lace. So basically fold your ½ meter of fabric in half. There we go. Honestly, this is just the quickest, easiest cushion to make. And that's how it will look. So that's my fold line there. Not going to worry about that. What I'm going to do is flip this over. Popping. And I'm going to measure in. That's where my 10-inch mark is. I'm going to go 1/4 of an inch in from there, so that my seam allowance goes there. And then when I flip it, oh no. There we go, have that there. Just move it in a little bit. And then I'm going to pop the lace underneath. So the lace is going to go there, and you just put that across there, pop that over the top. So you want to move your lace so that the lace is going to be on that seam allowance. Whoops. I'm going to pin that in place because that's going to annoy me otherwise. Where did I put my pins? Where did I put my pins? Well, honestly, this morning I would lose anything and everything. Oh, there they are. See, that's what happens when you tidy away, isn't it? Through the top layer, because of course this is folded in half. Through the top layer, I pin that just there. And just there. That way. And then flip the fabric over the top. Now, what I want to do is, because I'm going to sew this down, I want to make sure that's kind of 1/4 of an inch in. So where my fabric is, if I'm using a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, I want to make sure that this sort of line here is going to be about 1/4 of an inch in. That's the only reason I've pinned it where it is, just because of the seam allowance that I'm going to use. And again, just catching that top layer of fabric, pin and pin. Now, if you want to remove your pin from underneath, then do, because then you'll be able to take it out when you are sewing. Okay, so I've just pinned my lace and this the wrong way, and then we take it over to the machine. And over at the machine, we are going to just sew. Oh, hang on. I've given you a lot of lace, I realise, with a meter. You've got far more than you need, but then you've got far more of everything. Your kit would make at least 2 of these. So there you go. You could make one for a friend. So in we go. Is my needle threaded there? Ah, okay. So what's going to really help at this point is if you make sure that your needle is threaded. Whoop. Goes through there. Come on. Up there. Through there. There we go. That's my needle threaded. Let's start that again, shall we? Now you can go back or forward if you want there. Doesn't really matter. Taking the pins out as I go. And putting them somewhere, you know, that I might actually remember where they are. Hurrah! There we go. Easy peasy. Now take this back to your cutting mat. Have the long side that way. Then get your ruler, trim that back there. So again, more spares. Then let's come over. Yeah, like I say, there's a lot of fabric left over out of this kit, so you could probably make two, should you wish. So take this back to the cutting mat. Now flip this and press away. And then fold in half, right sides together. And give it a quick press. So what I have now is a little cushion. There we go. So I've got, that's my right side, and that's where I've pressed it away. Okay, so that's what the cushion's going to look like. So that's that pressed away. Fold it across like so, and then just sew three sides, leaving a turning through and a stuffing gap. Okay, is what I would say to you. So again, a quarter of an inch, whatever you like, in terms of, woo, hello, it's got some gears, this one, isn't it? But honestly, this is just the quickest, simplest make. Like I say, if you've got other fabrics you want to use at home, then just grab yourself a metre of lace. I haven't written up instructions for this because I thought it was a really easy make. But then Emma said I should have written up instructions. So if that is something that you want, then just let me know. I can whiz up some instructions. Oh, I'd have to make another cushion to photograph, but I could get those done by the end of the day. If that's something that you wanted, then like I say, just put a little message in there or email info@natashamakes.com and I can do that if that's something that you want. Otherwise, don't worry about it. Here we go. But I mean, you could get some of the Kaffe fabrics off yesterday's shows, and you could use those with a plain and some pom-pom trim. Oh, possibilities are endless. Now I'm just going to do just a few little stitches just on this end bit here, just so that on the fold it's not, it just makes it easier. Just trust me, it just makes it easier. There we go. Ta-da! Okay, then on the corners. Now remember, in your kit you get the stuffing as well. You get 250 grams of stuffing. so that you've got everything that you need. Just add your cotton and you are good to go. And then just turn. Waha. Top tip someone gave me is reach for the furthest point of your cushion or whatever it is that you're turning through, and then turn through. It's like, oh yeah, that makes life easier. Really makes life easier. And here we go. This is the honeysuckle version. It's so pretty. And I would fold under your seam allowance there, because I will actually take the time to hand slip stitch that. I know I can hear you gasping, Gemma Pinto Thomas, from here, but I will. On certain things, I will actually take the time to slip stitch that shut. Ladder stitch, whatever your stitching of choice. But what I do is I will always press that seam first. Of course you can top stitch it if you want, but if you are going to top stitch, just top stitch around the whole thing so that it looks like it was meant to be done like that. You could add a decorative stitch, you could do whatever you want. Now, stuffing. My magic bag of stuffing. Here we are. What else do people keep in their bags, right? And again, like we pulled through the turning hole, the furthest point first, stuff to the furthest point first. Just makes life easier. Morning, Natasha. Just about to make some cushions out of my fat quarters from last week. Oh, well, there you go, Leanne. See, maybe you want to do one like this. Gemma's laughing because she knows. She knows. I've always been the same. Hang on. No, just because you've known me for ages, you can't go giving away my secrets. What have I always been the same with? Oh no. This is the bad thing. I shouldn't have friends watch. They give away my secrets. Do you know what, Gemma? I think you've actually known me longer than Emma. That's worrying, isn't it? Only by a couple of years, but yeah. That's the problem with me, you see. Once I'm your friend, I don't go away very easily. I mean, I might move around the countryside a bit, but you're kind of stuck with me. That's for sure. I think it's being a Leo. They say that Leos are very loyal, don't they? If you believe that kind of thing. I was listening to a podcast. This is my new thing, is going to bed early with the kids because I'm so exhausted by the time it's their bedtime. I'm like, right, I'm going to bed. And also it just means Emily sleeps better. And listening to podcasts. Well, where has the infinite monkey cage been all my life? And people will be like, what? It's a great, oh gosh, what's his name? Professor Doobry what's it, who does all of like the space shows. What's his name? God, where's my brain at? And he used to be in a band. What's his name? Anyway, he does this podcast and it's great, and it deals with all the sciencey, boffiny type stuff that I love. And yeah, so I'm now going to sleep listening to those. And they had an episode on like your star signs. Cox. Professor, what is it? Brian Cox. Thank you. All of you like, Brian Cox, it's Brian Cox. Yeah, Brian. He just shouldn't be a Brian. Like, he's too cool to be a Brian. No offence, my in-laws are Brian. You're very cool too, Brian. Quick. I don't think there are many babies called Brian these days, are there? So my dad's a Barry, and I don't think that there are many Barrys born. And Nigels as well. That's another name that you don't get very many of. In fact, I think we went a whole year with no Nigels being born. Sad times. So anyway, that is your cushion. We digress talking about names. But anyway, yeah, no, if you like space and all that kind of stuff, which I do, then do. That was the only bit of my physics A level that I actually liked, was the was the astrophysics side. So yeah, pin that, stitch that, however you want to, It's pretty, right? It could be a bolster. If you want to elongate it, you could even do it as a draft excluder. But then you'd have to put it on the floor. I'm not sure I could put that on the floor. And it looks better when it's properly stuffed, unlike the slightly flat version. Yeah, don't stuff it with wadding like I had to the other day because I forgot my stuffing. Oh, Gemma says, I remember visiting you when you were in Cornwall when you were pregnant with Freddie. Arrived to find you operating a... What was I doing? A gigantic grass strimmer. Well, you know, the grass needed strimming. Yeah. And, you know, I could still do that with a bump. It was fine. So, yeah, I guess I haven't changed very much. My friend's pug is called Brian. Now, you see, that's a great name for a pug. It's like my dog being called Eric. Great name for a dog. All of these names, just fantastic. So, look. This is just one of those cushions that you could do and you could just have so much fun with getting that contrast. Use it with your pom-pom trim. Use it with, your half-meter heavens would be perfect for this. Bit of pom-pom, bit of lace, whatever you've got lying around. Or, you know, if you don't like the lace, don't use the lace. It's entirely up to you. But just get making and make beautiful things. That's what I urge you. Let's make our, you know, you can't do much to change the world, can you? But you can make your own environment beautiful and lovely and gorgeous. So that's what I would urge you to do. And with these makes, that's exactly what we're doing with high quality fabric, absolutely gorgeous. So grab your face masks. The cotton on that is very breathable, by the way. So, you know, because that's the thing, isn't it, that people worry about. So it's a slightly lighter cotton and it's just a little bit more breathable because that's why they're so comfortable. And just enjoy. Piping would be lovely too. All right, up in the piping, Auntie. Pipe down, pipe down. And I still like the idea of a pug called Brian. Yeah. Good times. Righty ho. Thank you everybody for listening, for watching, for doing whatever. Do shop the fabrics, have a good look around. We've still got some of the fat quarter bundles from the K Facet Collective from yesterday, which would look gorgeous. And actually what I might do for next week is if we have any left, is maybe put some complementary bundles together or maybe some bundles like this for you if you want to do that. Shall I do a pattern for this anyway? Would that help? Would that help? I don't know. Let me know. Just pop down here, and if you would like anything like that. Oh, Elizabeth says my science teacher looked like him. I would. If my science teacher had looked like him, you'd have been working for aerospace. Do you know? My A-level physics teacher didn't like me very much. Can't imagine why. Possibly I didn't take it as seriously as I should have done. And the reason that I know that he didn't, what was his name? Gemma, what was his name? He always used to wear socks and sandals. What was his name? As every physics teacher should. But he always used to lock me in the radioactive cupboard. That's when I realised he didn't like me very much. He was like, yes, you need to catch up your work, Natasha. You can go in the radioactive cupboard. I was like, oh, what, in it? Really? So yeah, that's where I spent the majority of my physics lessons. I'm amazed I got Brian May says no. I don't think it's. Oh yeah, but Brian, another Brian. Yeah, no, he's an uber cool Brian too, isn't he? But he doesn't do the space stuff. Although actually, they were all kind of scientists, weren't they? The guys that weren't Freddie Mercury and Queen. Wasn't one a dentist or something? We digress. Anyway. Mr. Bedford. Oh my goodness. I don't know if he's even alive still. Mr. Bedford. Yeah, he always used to shut me in the radioactive cupboard. Oh, it explains a lot really, doesn't it? I don't think you could do that these days. Anyway, we digress. Thank you very much for watching. I've had fun. I hope you have too. And I will see you next Monday. Who knows what we're going to do? I'm going to go away and think about that. Oh no, I do know exactly what we're doing. I'm going to go away and make some samples for it because they're gorgeous. And they arrived yesterday as well, hence not being able to get in the front door. So that's what I'm going to do once I've possibly tidied up. You can't see down here. It's all good. As long as here's clear, we're all good. Yeah, I'm going to tidy up. I will see you next week. Take care. Lots of love. Bye-bye.